Hello again, coming to you from Casa de Nils. This is a 7th grade vocabulary and comprehension lesson. So welcome and enjoy. Good morning, guys. We're going to be talking again about our book Among the Hidden by Margaret Peterson Haddix and doing some vocabulary work and working on a comprehension strategy. But before we get into that, let's get to today's trivia question. So you guys get your scratch paper ready, and here we go. The question is, now keep in mind, I would have a whiteboard or something, some technology if I was in a classroom. I'm stuck with no kids, so anyway, we'll do it. We'll do this paper. Why did Luke have to wait 3 days before sneaking to visit Jen a second time? So if you guys recall, we're at the part in the story where Luke realizes that there's someone in his neighborhood who's also a third child. And he sneaks over there and meets her. Her name's Jen. And then he doesn't go back for 3 days. So why is that? That's today's question. So write the answer down and send them up to the front, and we will see if you get an extra bonus point for that. So the idea of the trivia question is it's an attention grabber. It's usually not overly academic, something interesting, and gives them a chance to earn points to redeem things, or perhaps earn some extra credit if they'd like to redeem it that way, just to keep them engaged in the book and get them going in the day. So we've been practicing our vocabulary matching game in the previous chapters, where we have a list of words and then we have a list of sentences with the words missing from the chapter, and you guys predict which words you think will fit in what sentences. Then we do the reading, and you determine whether you were right or whether you had some words mixed up. And then we've been doing partner work to try and determine meanings and come back together as a class and go over meanings and synonyms and what the words contribute to the story. So we're going to just review the words that we did from the last couple chapters from yesterday and go over why they were important. So I will read you the first one with the word in there, and then after that we'll use the randomizer to pick friends to read each example. If you'd like to use your weekly pass, you may do that if you still have it remaining. So from page 75, we have Luke crept over to the back door promptly at 9 a.m. and daringly flipped the light switch. So we talked about that yesterday and how daringly adds to that sentence and what you think it might mean. We came up with a couple good ideas or synonyms about that. Does anyone want to share what they remember? Okay, you guys shared. Great, you did great. And how does it contribute to the story? Well, he had to be brave because he was told never to turn lights on or open windows in case someone saw him. So he had to do that on his own, and daring is sort of a way to say brave. So he was being brave. Okay, now, so we'll give you the list of words for today. Excuse me. So here are the list of some of the words that I've picked out from the chapter. Now, this might not be all the words that you guys find in that chapter, so just be aware that you might know some of these, you might not know other words in the chapter, and you're going to have to, monitor your own reading a little bit to figure out where you need to double check a word. So the words I have on here are revelations, genocide, flippantly, dense, unfurling, and ominous. And as you guys know, some of these words have suffixes. Like, for example, unfurling is just in, it's got the gerund form here for unfurl, and flippantly has the ly suffix. So just be aware that if you're looking up definitions, you might have to look at the root word first in order to get a better idea. And so I'm not going to read all these, but I'll read one to just remind you how this looks, and then I will give you all of these sheets, and you will have to try and predict and write in the word that you think belongs. And I've listed the page number here, so when you guys are reading and you come across a page that has a vocab word that I've pointed out, you can say, oh, here we go, I got to get my dauber up, I got to be ready to look for that vocab word to see if you're right. So on page 78, hearing Jen say that so blank, you don't exist, made Luke feel funny. Okay, so using the context clues that we have talked about in prior lessons, and using your knowledge of how words are formed and what shape that word might take, or if it just doesn't sound right, maybe you can eliminate some words that way. You can look at those things. All right, now, hang on, where did I put my book? I'm moving through the lesson fast. Obviously, we would take more time and do examples, but I don't have anyone here to contribute, so it's hard to talk for 10 minutes straight. I'm just going to get into the reading and the comprehension strategy, which is asking questions. Okay, so guys, one of the ways that you can better understand a text is to ask questions of it while you're reading it. You know, things you're wondering. I wonder why Luke did that, or what's the name of the families that have a lot of money? What do people call them? There are a couple different types of questions. Some questions, which my fine instructors have called thin questions, are ones that you can look right in the book and find the answer. How old is Luke? He's 12. And then the other types of questions, thick questions, would be ones that are going to require you to think a little more on your own, or maybe dig a little bit deeper into the book. So, for example, why would the government make a law outlawing third children? That would be something that I wondered right away from the start of this book. That's a bit of a deeper, more advanced level of thinking question. So, while you guys are reading, what I want you to do is ask a question when you think of one about something that you've read or something you'd like to know more about, and write it down. You can write it right on your vocab sheets, because you'll be going over these questions with a partner and then also handing them in at the end of class, so I can see what you guys are thinking about and hopefully tailor some of our future lessons toward those questions. Alright, so I'm just going to model how that would go. And again, we're starting chapter 18, where Jen has just told Luke about the march and the rally that she is leading at the United States Capitol with other third children, and Luke is hesitant about whether he wants to participate. So here we go. Luke said he couldn't look at Jen's triumphant grin. So Luke's hesitant and Jen is triumphant. I'm wondering, triumphant, is that a word I might have to look up? What does it mean to have a triumphant grin? He thought about how terrifying it was just running back and forth between his house and Jen's. Even this morning, on his third run through their yards, his heart had pounded so hard he'd wondered if it could burst from fear. And in the yard, at least, he was sure, or as sure as he could be, that no one was watching. How could Jen think he would dare go out in public, where he knew people could see him, people in government, no less, and say, I am a third child. I want to be treated like everyone else. So now I'm thinking, how does this idea, this feeling that Luke has where he's scared to even go out in public for fear of people seeing him because he's not treated as an equal, where does that currently exist in our society? Are there types of people who feel that way just going out in Minnesota? Are there types of people or classes of people somewhere else around the world that is really difficult for them to even consider going out in public for fear of discrimination? So that one is quite a thick question. You guys don't need to get that deep, but that's what I want you guys to be doing. So we're going to do about 15 minutes of quiet, independent reading, and I will come around and help you if you want some immediate help with a word or you have a question. I'll be available, and then we'll get together with your partners. You'll share your questions, go over the vocab words, and then we'll come back, and you guys as a pair will share one question that you had between the two of you, and we'll go over those vocab words again, and at the end of class I'll have you hand in your sheets with the vocab, with first your prediction and then second with the correct answer and also the questions, and then we'll see how you guys do on that. So you'll take about 15 minutes now and do some quiet reading. Okay, we did it, you guys. Peace.